Hey everybody, here's another quick tutorial, I guess you could call it, that some people requested, and it's on multiple exposures using the Canon 5D Mark III. So first off, what multiple exposures is you're taking multiple pictures of, depending on whatever the image is, and then it combines it all into one image, sort of like HDR. Excuse me, the most common that I'm sure most people have seen is, of a skateboarder or a snowboarder where there's, the 9 frames, say, of the skateboarder doing a trick all in the one picture. That's what the multiple exposure is. It kind of stacks, say like the moving subject all into one image. You could take pictures of a flower, get one that's tack sharp, one of just the background that's sharp, and then one where the whole image is blurry, and then it'll combine all 3 of those images into one photo where you have kind of the lens baby multiple effects look, and you can do that with people as far as putting them in different poses, etc. And so if you haven't seen or used multiple exposure before, I would say YouTube it, and there'll probably be people who have much better sample images than I can show you. So the easiest way to get there is either through the menu, and it's going to be on the third kind of file inside the red under multiple exposure right there. Or the quickest way is if you hit this button right here. It brings it up to picture style in the same way to get to HDR, and if you go to multiple exposures and select it, this is the menu. And so the first one, the function control is if you are pushing down the shutter for one frame, the subject moves, and then you push the shutter again, where this is for continuous shooting, for action or sports. So if like the skateboarder going across and you're taking with the 5D, say 6 frames per second, you'd want to be on that. Whereas this is, say you're doing a portrait of the person and they're to the right of the camera and you take a picture, then you have them move to the middle of the frame, and then to the left of the frame you take 3 individual shots while they're moving, and then it would turn the image into all together, and the camera combines it. Next is the exposure control, and so what additive does, just kind of the basic, it takes the 3 pictures and puts them together. One of the problems with multiple exposures when the camera makes it itself is that if you take a picture of say a person, and you take a picture of them on the right side and then the left side, but say that their 2 shoulders are overlapping in the frame, what'll happen is it'll kind of double that exposure. So sometimes then one shoulder will be really bright and then the other will be kind of darker as the camera kind of combines them together. So sometimes you get really highlighted spots or really dark spots when the camera combines it through additive. So then you can do average, where it'll make sure it has the no hot spots anywhere, and that the camera will make sure that everything is kind of the same exposure. Then you can do, of course, bright and dark to bring out certain things that you want in the image. Next is the number of exposures. You go from 2 to 9. 9 is, like I was saying, with like the skateboarder, or something where it's going to be really fast paced and there are going to be a lot of movement and different changes in the sequence, then you'd probably want to use that. What I always recommend is, if you don't know how many frames you're going to need, start with a high number. You don't have to start with 9, maybe 7, and see where you are, if you need more frames or less frames. It's really quick and simple to do. And then you can save the source images, where say you take 9 shots, it'll save all images, or you can just save the image that the camera captured and created. But I would highly recommend saving all images, because you can go back later and combine them in Photoshop if you wish, if you don't like the way that the camera combined them. And then last but not least, you can do one shot where there's a guy coming up on a skateboard, or whatever the scenario may be, and you just want to do one quick multiple exposure with 9 frames and create that, but then you want to keep shooting, then this will just create the one shot, and then continuously is obviously if you're creating multiple exposures after one another, trying to find the right sequence that works. And that's pretty much it. It's one of those things that you kind of have to play around with to see what you like and what you don't like, but you can get really cool effects, as I said, like with the flower, where it's kind of a blurry overlay with sharp, and then it's blurry again, or what it's probably most popular and used for is, as I said, like all the frames of a subject moving, especially with sports, and then it all combines into one image. And the camera does an excellent job, as I said, combining the images all into one. But like I said, the thing to be careful of or to look for is the exposure. That sometimes it's over highlighted and over bright when images will overlap, and so just keep your eye out for that. And other than that, go out and test this. I hope this explained how to set it up in the camera in order to take a picture. Sorry that I don't have any sample images. If enough people want them, I can make another little mini tutorial showing the different effects in camera. So I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and thanks again. Bye.